Yes, sir. We back.
So welcome back.
Yeah.
So are you ready for my questions?
I'm ready, man. Ready, 100%.
All right. So Emma, you are a Just Boy and a former artist and CEO at Chocolate City. Let's talk about your journey to Calvin College in Grand Rapids, Michigan,
Yeah, man. I
and
was.
you're an undergraduate in business admin and economics, where you spent a year. Take us through that part of your journey.
Yeah. So, man, I've been thinking about writing a book, and so some of these parts, you just asked a question that touches on some stuff. But
Yeah.
I think what I'll say is, I think what I'll start with is saying I got the opportunity to go to America to go to school. Um, Mystic in the building. I was very lucky. That's something that not many people get to go. And historically, I think my dad would be the first person from my village that got to travel outside the country. And I think I would be the
Wow.
first person from my village that got to school outside the country. So it's a
Wow.
little bit of historic for my own people. We're very humble people. We're very, so it's a big thing for me. I didn't, it was tough. Going to school was tough. I didn't finish actually. I came back before I could finish. Um, and when I came back, I didn't get the opportunity to go back. So technically, I'm like a dropout, but not a willing dropout, you know.
Yeah.
But the experience, I was there for 4 years, and the experience was a very good experience. It really opened my mind. And honestly, I wouldn't have come back to Nigeria if I finished at that time. I wouldn't have come back. Um, but here I came. So in retrospect, I can look back and say fortuitously, I came back to Nigeria to come and do the thing that I'm doing. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's very exciting that years back I can look back towards the time in America and see how much it influenced me musically, but also
Yeah.
as you spoke about business wise and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Man, that was really profound for me to have that time there.
So you have an abundant career as a comedian.
Yeah. So everybody thinks I'm very funny. Everybody around me. I mean, one joke got me in trouble recently, but people around me think I'm funny, and
So
I
you
try
try
to
to
do
bring
stand.
back your comedy. You try to bring back your comedy days, and you got in
So,
trouble.
so the two times I've done comedy is worked out terrible. But
You're like, that is not going to happen anymore.
Delfino, I see Delfino. But yeah, I love comedy, and I did it once. And it, comedy is not about thinking about the joke; it's about timing. It's more about the delivery. So
Yeah.
a lot of times you see that the people that are really funny in the room are not very good on stage, and I think I was one of those people. I love jokes. I think about jokes. I write jokes every once in a while. And one of my secret uh, goals for myself is to do a stand-up comedy set at some point. I know it's going to be bad, but to just go on stage and
Those
tell
jokes.
those jokes and see what happens. If I mess up, I mess up. But I think that it's important for people to try things, even if you think you're not going to be good at it. You know, try. Tochi, I see you. Sorry, I have to be hailing my people.
Yeah, please, you have to. So,
I
but
have the
Emma, let me tell you
best
something.
fan base on earth. Yeah,
I was in Ghana.
yeah.
I was doing a course in Ghana at Gimpa when I heard your album, right? Um, and I think the album just dropped at the time,
Yeah.
and I heard your album. When I got back to Nigeria, that album was like the biggest thing to happen that year, right?
Yeah.
I think that was your first album. So, what was going through your mind when you were recording that particular body of work?
That's a good question. So talk about it. I lost the files to talk about it. Maybe so let's say the project was supposed to come out like February. It might have been a little bit later, maybe June. And my system crashed. I lost everything. And so I had to go back and I had to start reproducing everything. People don't really know that I produce a lot, but on Talk About It, I produced everything apart from Fast Money, Fast Cars with Whiskey. And it came out. I'd been a rapper up until then, but rappers don't really get that love and those accolades and stuff like that. and all of a sudden, people start people start hailing me and stuff. But I think every artist, you never you never really see where you are until I think maybe until you start to descend. Then you look
Yeah.
back and you're like, wow, this is where I got to, you know. And so through that whole period, I was just like, man, we need to do more. We need to get bigger. You know, Jesse needs to get signed. Or Ice Prince needs to come next. Or we need to move to Lagos. We need to. So throughout I didn't really settle and enjoy it. And also because I was carrying a lot of people, all the money we made, there's always something to do with it. You know,
Yeah.
there's always like,
I
okay,
know that feeling. Don't worry.
yeah,
I know
there's
that
always,
feeling.
you know, okay, I just made some money, but now I need to pay for this person's visa to go, or this person has a video or something. So um, that was all part of that journey. But I look back. I mean, it was. I remember thinking during that time that I remember when people used to ask me, "What are the obstacles you faced?" I was just like, "I love doing this. I don't think anything is an obstacle." You know, I really loved it. I had so much fun. You know, I didn't enjoy being arrested by police all the time, but you know,
So, you moved back to Nigeria and joined the rap scene. So, while you were in America, who were those Nigerian acts you were observing from afar in the rap game, and you thought to yourself, you don't think these guys are keeping that standard, and you need to come in to do that to scatter the industry?
yeah, man. Before I left, it was so I left in 1999, and yeah, 1999. And when I left, Remedies had just come out with I don't know how to say it very well, Shakomo. I think that's what I had to say it right. But um, they'd come out. The song was blowing up. I didn't think it was a dope song. You know, now this is one of the most legendary songs in Nigerian history now. But I was like, eh, what's this? So when I went to America, I remember one of my friends came to me and told me there's some guys doing it in Nigeria. They're called Plantation Boys. And I listened to Plantation Boys. I remember that the first time I listened to them, they had there was no auto tune on the song. So I was like, what's this? You know. Then somebody came and said there's some other guys called Tribesmen. And I remember that they played Tribesmen. I was like, man, all these Nigerian artists, man, they're not good enough. They're not blah 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 blah. They played me something. I remember there's a line that KB said about um, something spending bills at his gates because he's neither micro nor soft or something like that. And I remember I was like, oh, that's a line, you know. And
Mm.
but apart from that, I was just into American music. I wasn't into Nigerian contemporary music at the time. I liked, you know, some fella, you know, Lucky Dube. I was just consuming music from all over the world. And then I came back to Nigeria. I think it was Jeremiah again that really started putting me on Nigerian music. He played me, you know, Mode 9 because he was working. Jeremiah was working with the studio in Abuja called KD World. And so Mode 9's project was being produced there, you know. And then when they were playing Mode 9, because I'm connected to Abuja, they would tell me the story about, they would say, yeah, Mode 9 is like Rugged Man. And then I would hear about Rugged Man, or I'd hear about Two Shots, or about all these guys, you know. And then my respect started changing. And then I
Mm.
remember when Star Plus came out. So I'm answering that question, but I'm flowing forward. Sorry,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I remember when Star Plus came out. I think that for a whole generation of singers, I think Star Plus made us believe that it can be done better than what's attainable abroad.
Yeah.
And Shifi from Star Plus went to Baptist High School. So I remember I was like, yo, like, dog, these guys are doing it. They were huge. And then this is now Nigerian music is taking off. I remember going to the studio one day and Peter from P Square was there. They're still just guys at this time. Before you know it, they're blowing up, they're doing big things. Then the band comes through and just smashes everything. And, you know, the music business started becoming this real thing. And then before I knew it now, people that I would see as sort of like my contemporaries are starting to do big things. So through a guy, through Cartoon, I met DJ Sazi and DJ Ate and Sazi. Sazi is passed away now, rest his soul. But then in the session, I met Nito C. And before
Hmm.
I knew it, Nito C starts, you know, blowing up. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, yo, my God, like this thing is real. And you know, I mean, look at what it is today. It's so powerful. We forget so many of the names that when you think about the place of like LD the Don in Nigerian music history, you think about the remedies, Keke and
Yeah.
D1. I don't know if Nigeria we truly honor our legends the way we should. You know.
Well, I think that we should. This thing is more of an industry-specific conversation where we need to break our legends into different industries. So let's say the entertainment industry, but we'll take our music and focus on the music side of the industry, and identify those people one after the other. If not, it will be a difficult conversation to have.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you you brought the mixtape game into Nigeria and launched some mad tracks. But let's go into some lyrical pieces, mainly illegal music in
yeah,
2009
yeah.
and illegal music 2 in 2012. How does MI cook his soup in the studio?
Yeah. So first of all, I mean, you talk about mixtapes. You cannot mention MI's name in mixtapes without mentioning Mode 9. Like before we even go further, I have to pay respect to who respect is due. Mode 9's
Yeah,
mixtape, no, before Phantom X, Malcolm X is literally the mixtape that schooled, that put us in position. There's no rapper from that era that doesn't respect Mode 9 in like a
yeah,
different way. But when I came in, so what will happen was that I love sampling. So we're in the studio. Jesse produces. Generally, Jesse works at night. I work in the daytime. So I will take songs, I'll sample them, but it's a long process to collect samples. And I remember that I'd record these songs and have samples in them. And I was like, I can't release unless I give it out for free. So I've done my album. The album is out. Songs are doing well. And in the middle of it, I mean, I think I went to Just for a show the day that I'm Hot came out, the
yeah,
Banja and Bongono Feli Feli.
yeah,
And I remember sitting down. So up until this point, Don Jazzy has had maybe 20 hits in a row.
yeah,
And then he drops this song, and I'm hearing this beat. I'm like, God. So I'm like, man, I have to rap on this. So I take the beats, go to the studio. There's not so much to add. And the song Don Jazzy's the band is singing throughout the song. So I only had at the beginning, it's Don Jazzy again, it's Don Jazzy. So I only had that, cut it, turned it. When I rapped on it, I played it for a few friends. They're like, you know what, you should do a whole tape. So I
yeah,
got in the studio. Illegal Music One, I think, was when rap was easiest for me. It wasn't hard at all to write those verses. It was, I remember rapping to I'm Illy, and the lyrics are just flowing. Now, every once in a while, I'll have a moment like that where lyrics just flow.
yeah.
But throughout the process of writing Legal Music One, I remember that everything was just so easy. And there's a mind state that you get into where you bend words. You can make one word. I can make ubi rhyme with uh, um, I'm trying to find a word that doesn't really rhyme with ubi, but with like I could make hobby and ubi rhyme together, right?
Yeah.
They don't really really rhyme, but I could, you know, um, and I remember that like if you listen to Safe, I say my money long like Mooney, I'm loony like Toonie, my arm strong like Louie, the City blew me. Like rap was just that was that phase in my career where it was just if I needed a rhyme, it was right there. I just grab it and put it in the song. Grab another rhyme and put it in the song.
It was like a Ronaldo scoring 40 goals a season kind of time,
Please,
right?
please, let's talk about Messi. Please. Messi.
Okay, so sorry, it was like Messi scoring like
Messi scoring
50
91
goals a
goals,
season.
90 goals in a year, calendar year. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, but it was fun, man. It was really fun. We're in Jeannie's house, living in Jeannie's house. Respect to Jeannie. Um, and we had our one computer. It was a red computer. We just work constantly. Jesse's working. I'm working. iSpace is working. Um, and it was really fun times.
wow. So you know, Genie, I always say that guy, God will bless him because Genie has done a lot of things for us, not just you. He's that guy that, you know, he had a song, he had like a hit song before a lot of us were looking up to him. When I used
Yeah.
to come and visit you guys in Palm Grove,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
So he had all of this. Oh, if you help me see ego, make you tell her, you know, and he's a very pleasant guy. Always smiles. Very, you know, when he wants to argue, he's arguing very, very, you know. And that guy, I believe that God will always bless him for everything he's done for people like us. You know, we never give him that kudos, but he's done a lot for people like us. So
Yeah.
I'm going to get into a particular conversation, which, as an artist, you run a record label. You've seen how things, money's come in, how you spend on artists. So I and Audu were having a conversation a few days ago about the relationship between the artists and the relationship between the artists and the record labels. You've been on both sides, right? And I'd like us to touch that conversation a little bit because what I'm trying to do is we need to change our industry where a lot of people will come in and be comfortable enough to invest their money. Emma, I know you have gone to places where you ask people, I want you to have fun and give us money for investment, and they'll tell you this is my industry. Tomorrow you go sign artist, the artist go run, right?
Yeah.
So you've been a record label executive, you sat down there, you've taken decisions for artists. Let's start with the creative process. Now, you're an artist, and another artist records a song. You had rappers like Emma, Ice Prince, you had Jesse. So have you been in a position where you had them record a song and they came to you and you felt like those songs were not ready or not right songs to go out?
Yeah. Of course, all the time. I think one of the biggest ones was Oleku. So when they made Oleku, they made two versions of Oleku.
Yeah.
Kelly made one, and somebody else made the second one. And so when they heard it, we all said, "No, this is not the song." We liked. There's another song I just had that we liked, and I think Audu said, "No." The truth about it was Ice Prince. Well, Ice Prince said, "This is the song. I really like this song." Hey, Fresh L in the building. I was trolling him the other day on his line. Rebecca in the building. My people are here. Shout out to the tribe always.
By the way, I like that Rebecca girl. I just found out about her maybe 2 days ago, and I was going through her Instagram. I think I like her music. Can you hear? Can you see me?
I can hear you. Okay, let's see.
Okay.
So yeah, so Oleku, but shout out to Ice Prince. He kept working on it. He kept saying this song can be better. Then Jesse produced it. Then I did what Jesse would do. Jesse would produce like 20 tracks. I'll strip it down to like 8 tracks, and added some stuff to it. And then Abuchi mixed it, and then it went on to become a hit. So it happens from time to time. The more you stay in the music business, my formula now is to find somebody that's amazing, like Black Bones, right? You find somebody that's ready, and then you trust them. They're going to know what their sound. I I mean, there's an Inyanya we knew, and then he comes out with, the sound that blew him up, and
Yeah.
that sound in a way is different from the sound that techno puts out.
Yeah.
And my own, I don't know all the modalities of what was happening inside. My own version has been um, find an artist and trust the artist. Trust the artist.
Yeah.
Of course, sometimes you hear something and you know that okay, it's this one, not the other one.
Yeah.
But it's been rare. I mean, the singles that have sort of come out under my tenure as CEO were "Do Something," Kokar, um, Kole Work Remix, "Miracle" by Dice, Tedola, "Container" by CK, Blackbone's first project. Um, Sherman album I was about to come in to it. I think Killing Show, Victoria Kimani, Boss, Ice Prince, um, Jaga Love, Jesse Jags, and at that stage you just trust the artist and
Yeah.
Yeah, you let the artist sort of do their
So have
thing.
you? So in our industry, right? It's really difficult for artists to. Do you still advise like an artist should be signed to a record label that an artist is a CEO of?
So my own impression is that the best A&Rs in the business are. That's what I mean. So you
Yeah.
take Don Jazzy, Banky W, M.I. Abaga, Timaya, uh, let's say Terry G, um, um, Illbliss, if you know about Illbliss's impact. Um, if you just take these guys away from the music business, you have taken at least 50% of the artists that are relevant today.
Mm.
Right? Um, and most times, even when an artist gets signed somewhere else, you will find that other artists know they know about that artist. Maybe they spoke to the person. So I spoke to many. Oh, of course, Olamide. I didn't call Olamide. Olamide. If you put Olamide there, you take Olamide. I mean, Wizkid, Davido. Yeah,
Yeah.
the so David, Wiz, Olamide, Banky, Mi, Don Jazzy. Like, I'm not trying to exclude people. I'm just saying that these artists, if you remove them, so the artists have the gift, and in other countries where they're more organized, you see that they put a lot of money to back artists,
Yeah.
to support artists. Here in this business, I think that artists are asked to do so many things, asked to do too many things. You need to be, to a certain degree, a lawyer, a certain degree, an accountant, a certain degree, a marketer. If you don't have an Obi Franklin, if you don't have an Aldo Lincoln, if you don't have any of these people, then you're in a little bit of a quagmire. So
Yeah.
I would always say that if you have an artist that you connect with, and that's the best situation that you can be in, that you connect with. Now, that being said, there are many things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't think that the things that can go wrong are specific to artists. Those things can go wrong with. There's not one problem that any artist has had with with another artist that's a record label head that an artist has had with a record label head that's not in the music business. I don't know if
Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, whichever way you
It's
look
the
at
same.
it, it's the same problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
so, yeah. Go ahead.
so who is that artist that you missed signing that till this day you always look back and say you wish you had moved faster than the person that signed him?
Oh man, there's so many, man. What so many? Um, Rikasani, Johnny Drill. I may be wrong, but I think I brought Johnny Drill to Lagos first. I may be wrong. Um, at the time, Young Six. Um, um, there are many. There's so many.
So I heard you did the introduction between
Yemi
Banky and
Alade. Yeah. So I mean, it's not like a day. It's not like a moment that it happened. But I had come to Lagos. Banky had also come to Lagos. I knew Wizkid first, and I think Banky had heard him through the song that we'd done together. And Wizkid was very focused when we started working. Um, Wizkid did the song, came to me and said, "Can I come with you to perform? And can I follow you for any show you're doing?" So I think in the middle of that, Banky met him, and but Banky was also very intentional. Banky was very early on, like, look, I want a singer, a rapper, a female artist. He had this whole idea, and yeah, and I see people putting Wizkid in the comments. So when I met Wiz, I think that we could have given Wizkid a deal, but and Wizkid would have taken it back then. However, you have to remember that this was way back before Chocolate City had any clouds, anything. And I just knew that I couldn't sign him because Jesse hadn't come out and Ice Prince hadn't come out. Right. And so that's the conversation I had with him. I was like, bro, you're too good to sit and wait for any artist. Like, you're the guy. So look for a situation where you'll be the number one artist. You know,
Yeah.
I had this conversation with a few other people too. Sometimes you meet an artist and you know that you don't have what it takes to
Yeah.
position them. Ultimately, when I met with Rick Asani, that's the conversation we had. When I met with there's somebody else too, but I was just like, look, you're you're in a situation where you're the best artist now, and you should be in charge of your own stuff. You know, sometimes an artist doesn't even need help. You know, sometimes you meet them and you're listening to them, and you're like, okay, this person can do it on their own. You know, so yeah,
Well, you
there's a
see,
lot of
you know, in our industry, right? There are a few people in our industry that are very, very important to us. You know, there are artists that you look at, you already know that this guy can push themselves. So I always say this thing that there are three kinds of artists in our industry. The artists that don't need anybody to push them. They have that ginger. They can go to everybody, try to get that thing. That artist, someone that falls in that same that WhatsApp group is MC Galaxy.
oh,
MC Galaxy, I've known him. He will always go to hustle his thing himself, right? So there are these artists that need you to just touch them a little bit, just amplify what they're doing, and they'll move.
oh.
Then there are these artists that if you don't push, keep pushing them and keep pushing them, all you need to do, keep pushing them, they will not get anywhere. So I know that in your career part, you met all of them, right? How are you able to now say, okay, no, this guy, because some labels will want to sign those ones that all I need to do is touch them small and they move, right? Now some labels will want those ones that they have full control over, that they know that, okay, these guys don't understand anything about the music business. So you've met the three kinds of artists. So in your head, every day when you see artists, how do you group them? Because I know from the first three words, you know where this artist is going to. So how do you group those artists?
I mean, you said it perfectly. You're looking for an artist. Ultimately, the best kind of artist is somebody that's figured it out and maybe just needs small structure, small introduction, and it's very easy to see those artists. You know, where are they positioned right now, and are they the biggest star where they are? If I go to Jos for a show and I meet an artist, and the artist says, "Oh, these people say this artist is dope. He's the best artist, or whatever." I'll go down to radio station or something and ask someone and be like, "Hey, do you know this artist?" If they say no, ask two, three more times. If they don't know, I tell the artist, "Hey, you still have a lot of work to do
Yeah,
to build your audience wherever you are." Sometimes you meet somebody that's just so talented that even if they don't have an audience yet, you take a risk. So that's my story with Millie. When I met Millie, I was like, this guy is just so, like, he's exceptional. He's one of a kind. Um,
yeah,
and it's always a risk, right? It's always a
yeah,
risk. And ultimately, I don't think our industry has been very fair to people that have taken that risk. It almost
yeah,
always ends, it almost always ends badly.
yeah,
Um, and it's a lot of like for me. So my first wave are my brothers. I come to Lagos with Jesse and Ice Prince. The second wave is Price, Brimo. I'm trying to sign Young Six. I'm trying to sign Shady. I actually trying to sign Shady. Shady is somebody that I missed out on.
yeah,
Trying to sign those guys. And then when I do sign them, so Brimo moves into my house, and Price didn't live with me, but she ended up, around the family. And then it's the next wave. It's okay, Coca, Millie, Reinhard, those guys move into my house. CK, they move into my house again. And so eventually you end up building all these bonds with these people. You end up building these connections with people. And as the industry happens, it's like tearing your skin away. And gradually, after a while, you just get tired of it. You just say, I don't want to do this anymore. Um, it's it can be very painful at times. It can be a
yeah.
very
We'll come
very
back to the
thankless.
we'll come back to the industry conversation because that's a few things that there are a few things we need to touch there because this is going to help a lot of people understand what the industry itself is.
Young
So
kings in the building.
yeah. So progressing through your career and
Yeah.
success, what's your biggest payday? Like being named a Glow ambassador or a particular concert or a deal. Tell us, what was that biggest payday that you had?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, man. So I think the best situation that you want is a payday that's huge, and it pays you every year for a sequence of years.
Yeah,
And so I've had two. I don't want to talk exact numbers. I'm always shy to talk about numbers, but um, I think both Glow and Martell, because I had this endorsement for
yeah.
sequence of years, and um, yeah, I think those are up there. I was very, I was very, I used to work a lot, so always on the road. Star Trek, you know, 8 cities, 6 cities, hop off that, go on the Glow tour, you know, do cities, come back, do Martell club nights, and just go from club to club to club to club, perform, 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 perform. Um, and so yeah, a lot of that, a lot. I think for artists, the artists are paying attention. That's the sort of relationship you want to do. You want to be a kind of artist that's um, very good at um, performing and very good at keeping relationships because that's really how you get a payday. You can get a one-off payment and then the brand doesn't want to work with you after that, or they don't want to pay you again. But if you can make a brand really happy and they say, okay, we're going to pay you this endorsement fee, then we're going to do 10 shows, we're going to pay you for those 10 shows, and then hey, we need to license your song, so we're going to pay you $20,000 to license your song. Oh, and then by the way, we want you to go to America and do so and so forth. And here is another extra. At the end of the year, you can look back and you made a killing off of that.
All right. Rap field. Before I come to your upcoming $500,000 challenge with Saturday, right? The rivalry between you and Kenny Handsome, Iceberg Slim. Do you think this competition is missing in the industry right now?
you know, the industry is definitely better. The hip hop industry is definitely better when there's energy in it, and sometimes that energy is two people that don't like each other. Honestly, most of my career, I've really tried to stay away from it for various reasons. Um,
But it's impossible.
yeah. It's not impossible. I think I've made the choice. Every time I've gone into something, I made a conscious choice. I could have just ignored it, but um, I think that it's it's something that an artist has to think about because it's gonna live with you, and especially me, since like 2011, I've always had some sort of corporate relationship or partnership or something that's brewing, and you don't want to be too controversial. Some people don't
Yeah.
like it when you're too controversial. So I remember once that there was some energy, and I had a Google Hangout with Fashola, and I remember getting a mail from Fashola's people saying, we're paying attention to you, and just know that whatever you want to do, you can only do it after you and the governor speak. No controversy until you and the governor have the conversation. And so I've tried as much as I can to just brush it off. Trust me, there's almost no rapper that hasn't said something funny. Apart from maybe my family. That hasn't said something funny, or in an interview they said something, or one song. If I was one of those people that was very gung ho about going into rap beefs and stuff.
So, Emma, I had Sakodi on the show the other day, and I feel like if you and Sakodi go at each other, it will be very interesting for the industry.
Yeah.
Because, trust me, rap in Ghana, rap in Nigeria, yourself and Sakode, right? So I believe it will be very interesting. I've been trying to raise that money to have both of you go at yourself. But the guys that want to drop the money are not seeing the numbers, you know, because everyone wants to make money,
Yeah.
So they need to see the numbers, they need to see the numbers make sense before they can go at it. So, but you think that if one day Sakode decides to just, diss you, it will be game over in the industry?
Saturday is there's so much love, and like I don't want to sound patronizing, but I think that there's a way kings act. And
Yeah.
someone like Saturday, I think he understands the power of his platform. So
Mm.
one of the reasons why you don't always just go into beef, you don't just always say something about somebody is because it will have impact and it will live and it will stay. So
Yeah.
even last year when I was in a little bit of a situation, I hope you don't have questions because I won't go too deep into last year's, but there are many
No,
things that I think people wanted me to say that I didn't say because if you talk about somebody, that person is gonna in a certain way. If you go to a certain limit, that person is going to stay with them forever. You know,
mm.
um, and so I think Sakode embodies kingship, the way he carries himself, the way he communicates, and he always shows love. Um, he's always respectful. So I don't think that there's anything that would um, make us beef. Also, kings pick up the phone. Kings don't. You don't have a clash with somebody and you hear about it on Instablog or on a
Yeah.
tweet. A king will pick up the phone and be like, "Yo, bro, this is what happened," and I'm not happy about this. Um, and I think that that's at that level. I don't think that there'll ever be, unless it's paid or something really happens this Saturday, and that would be. I think that both from the athlete in us as a rapper, I think that it's an exciting prospect, to spar with somebody as great as Sakode.
So let's talk about the extra mileage Instagram gives artists today compared to 10 years ago. Do
Yeah,
you feel like the younger ones find it easier today?
man, easier. I don't know. Look, it's just different times, different eras. It's as hard for a young kid that's coming up today as it was for me, as it was for the guys before. It will just be different. It will just be different pressure points that the pressure comes from. So when I was coming up, the hard thing was that there was a media wall, and if you don't have friends on radio, you don't get play. If you don't get play, DJs don't get your music. And if somebody really didn't like you within the industry and was a media person, they could stop your music from playing. Um, Today the gates are exploded and everybody can walk into the industry, but there's so many people, and so it's very hard for a lot of talented people to get good attention. Um, so I don't think it's easier. It's easier in a way where it's easier for you to get your song out there. Easier for you to use TuneCore and just go directly to iTunes or whatever. But it's still very hard for a young artist. And I empathize, man. It's an artist called, maybe I shouldn't call anyone's name, but there are just so many dope artists that you see that are doing amazing music and not getting the recognition for the music that they make.
You get $10 million today, right? Because there's something you're running away from, but you get $10 million today, MI, and you're asked by an investor, this is $10 million. You have, I want you to mention 10 artists that you're going to spend $1 million on that we don't know about. Let's not mention artists that are already
Oh,
there. I'm sure you get these guys come to you every day. So you get $10
yeah.
million right now from an investor saying, MI, I want you to invest in 10 artists $1 million each.
No, when you say we don't know about, so my first artist will be
That
Black
I'm
Bulls.
sure, like, what?
So not like Tiwa Savage, but
No, not
like
like Tiwa, not even anybody that's had a hit before, but anybody that's still in the industry trying to find their food. Yeah.
does Black Bulls count? Black Bulls has had a hit, 2 hits. That's
Yeah.
it.
Well, no, Black Gold is already on his way there, right?
Okay. So below Black Bones, below the level of Black
Below
Bones.
Black, yeah.
Oh wow, $10 million. Okay, so I have to ask one more question. Okay, I have $1 million, so I can spend that money wherever.
So you have $10 million.
All right, got you,
You need to pick
got you.
10 talents.
So with $1 million, I can spend and position an artist as if they're Asha. I can get them to an international record label. We can put out music that way. So I would sign. Man, even the Altec hits. You're asking me for people that haven't had hits, so I have to be careful because there's some that are big. But I would sign Fa Oraka. I hope I said her name right. She's
Like the girl
amazing.
that plays the guitar.
Yeah, she's just amazing.
Yeah.
She's something else. There's a guy called. I'm going to forget some people, so you guys have to forgive me. There's a guy called Juju Boy Star. He's he's writing now. He's on the come up, but he's somebody I've been following for 4 or 5 years, and he's on his way to I think he's on his way. I see somebody just put Dan Dizzy. I would definitely invest some money on Dan Dizzy. He's holding down um, Port Harcourt. He's one of the best freestylers. I would put him in the studio because I want to hear him. I know he can freestyle, but I want to hear his recorded music. Wow, that's three. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a guy that I don't know if he's under Chocolate City sub label anymore, but his name is Bafo. He's a rapper, Mr. Bafo. He's he's definitely some. He's definitely some. These people are trying to make me laugh here. I don't want to be disrespectful because this guy's he's not small, but his name is Young Kings. He's in the comments here.
Yeah.
Kings is also somebody I've been following for a long time, and I really really respect what he's doing in the north. He's really great. Let me see, Bella Alubo. Technically she already has had hits, but Bella Lugo, she's very clear about what she wants to do. She's very focused. She has, great brand, great self-awareness. Wow. I feel like I'm just messing up people. There's a guy called Meiji the rapper. Meiji is amazing. I wanted to put him last because Meiji is, he's part of the tribe. But Meiji, he has that thing where he's not going to stop till he makes it. He has that thing, and he's also very good at doing a lot of things. How many is that? I've done 6, Abby.
You've done seven. Seven, I
7.
think.
Okay. I have 3. All right. I think I only have 2 girls, so let me try and put 3 girls, 3 more female artists. Lady Dolly is too big already, so I won't. I won't say Lady Dolly. Um, Good Girl LA. Um, I'm trying to pick. Oh crap! Of course, I'm stupid. Rebecca, that's in. She was on the live before. Rebecca is amazing. Somebody said Classic. Classic is already huge. Candy Bleaks, of course. Okay, let me put Candy Bleaks on that list. She's signed to Chocolate City. She's amazing. And I can see people trolling in the comments. I'm not going to respond to that at all.
All right. Okay. So, that's always a very difficult part to know. I ask that question because that's always a very difficult part to actually identify an artist that you want to
Oh
spend
crap!
money on.
April May also. So 11 people.
Okay. Now, I'm going to give you another task, right? The task is to take artists that, if you are giving money right now to start up an internet, like to start up a record label that is focused on getting the right artists. We don't care how big they are, but getting the right artists and putting them into a structure that you want to build like a force to hit the world, right? Who are those artists you're going to sign? 10.
10
Yeah.
global artists.
Within Nigeria, you want to take them, you want to use them to fight the global market.
The global market, international market. Okay.
Yeah.
So the number one artist I think on everybody's list should be Whiskey. Whiskey, there's just not enough you can say about him. The second artist, who I believe is the most talented artist that Nigeria has produced yet, is Burna Boy. The third artist is Tiwa Savage. The fourth artist is, and I have to be very careful here because people are going to take what I said and what I didn't and say what I
No,
didn't
no,
say.
we're just putting you. It's you're making your team. So yeah.
My team. So Wiz, Burna, Tiwa. You have to give it to Davido. You just have to give it to him. He has everything. He has everything, and I think he understands American culture in a way too, where
Yeah. That's 4.
4. I didn't want to do this. Like I'm being honest, but I didn't want to do. I didn't want to fill it with all like the obvious guys. But so I have 4 people. I have only one girl. So let me add a few more to the mix. Um, Lady Donley. I'll put Lady Donley on there. She's unique. She understands her brand. Her music is great. She's an awesome performer. Um, After that, I think the next person I'll put will be Santi, and maybe Odunsi. Man, this is so hard because there's so many great artists.
Where's
You
Kiss
know,
Daniel?
and that's
Flavor?
exactly who I'm thinking about right now. That's exactly what I'm thinking about. There are too many great artists. There are too many great artists. But what I'm thinking about people that are going to make music for for the world. And in saying so, you've asked me a question that you framed the question away, right? I think
Yeah,
that there are people that are going to make music for us, and that's
yeah,
important. But
yeah. People are
even
going to
whether
make
you're
music for us.
for us, and I love that too. But when I think about when you ask me to say I want a team to take to the world, I'm thinking about people that make the kind of music that could sell in China and and all
Yeah.
these other places. So where am I? How many have I mentioned?
You've done six, seven, seven.
7. Okay.
Yeah, and you're left with three.
3. Um, wow. Johnny Drill.
Yeah.
Um,
Simi,
so,
Adekunle.
oh crap! God, so good. See me, of course. See me, Tenny. I don't even know how I didn't think about Tenny. Since Tenny is in the earlier. She's in the earlier list. But yeah, to me, look, this list is you have to put Naramali somewhere in there. You have to put Kiss Daniel somewhere in there. You have to put, in terms of like that hip hop like bravado. And I don't. This is just my opinion. I don't think that as an artist he really cares about the West so much. This is just my opinion. I'm not saying that. I don't think he really cares about the West. But in terms of
Yeah.
like branding and energy, I think you have to put Olamide in there because to me he's the closest thing. Like when I look at him, I remember how I feel about Tupac, like that energy and
Yeah.
that life.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't call Rema. Rema, I mean, possibly could be number 1 on that list. You know, in fact, I don't. I'm not going to call anybody, but somebody should move so that Rema can be on the list. Somebody move. Rema has to be on that list. But it's a great thing. I think that it's the sign of where our industry is today that you
So
cannot.
exactly. So that's what I was about to say. I asked you this question because I feel like our industry has done a lot that if you want to take a team of, let's say a football team of 12, it's impossible.
It's
You
impossible.
know,
Thames,
and
I didn't say Thames. Like there are just so
yeah,
many. There are just so many. It's impossible right now for you to pick. For you to pick. It's not possible.
so at every level, like at every level in with our industry, our music industry, there's somebody that will feed you the kind of music you want.
Yeah.
There's someone that will feed you the kind of vibe you want. So we've done a lot as an industry, and I'm praying that artists and artists all respect themselves,
Yeah.
labels respect themselves too, so that we
World.
can get a lot of.
Oh my God.
So,
I need to do my list again, bro. You have inspired me. If I had to only pick, yeah, man. Okay, don't worry. I'll send you
you
the
didn't put
list.
word.
I didn't put world. Like that's crazy. I didn't put Jesse Jaggs. That's crazy.
You see, so it's difficult. You can it's a list that is very difficult to.
Didn't put Two
It,
Face. That's crazy. That's craziness. Man,
you
I'm
didn't
in
even put
trouble.
the band.
I mean,
But
it's
hey,
impossible. It's
it's a
impossible.
lot. So we don't even. So yeah, it's actually an industry where we need to understand that we've done a lot of work, right? And you cannot even sit down and say you want to pick
Shit.
10, 20,
They're,
30,
they're
40.
just putting names at me. They say Malik Berry, Brimo, Coscanino, Don Coscanino, Don
Say a
Coscanino, my
friend.
New York Connect. So the day that Iceberg and Slim and I were about to like freestyle battle in New York, uh, Don Coscanino was the guy that, because I didn't know what was gonna happen. He just tapped me on the back. He was like, "Yo, M, let's go." And when I finished rapping, I think it was starting to get a little bit heated. He tapped me on the back and said, "Let's go back." Nonso Amadi. There's so many Guys, stop mentioning Tay. I
One Day
didn't call Tay.
Cole,
No, one day
Techno.
is my no. There's no way that I'm doing it without one day call. Impossible. One day was on my list. I remember he was number 4.
God. No, no.
Who's
IQ,
this
brother, good
person?
IQ.
Ik Og Bona. Ik Og Bona.
uh, so let's talk about the album Judah.
Yeah. Ike Ogbonna is
So
my
it
guy,
was
by the
his
way, man. Great guy.
pardon?
I say Ike Ogbonna is my guy, man. He's a great
Yeah.
guy. Great guy. Great guy.
So he's lost. I think the flags on his phone. He doesn't have flags on his phone anymore. I don't see those flags anywhere. So let's talk
Yeah,
about
so
the Judah
Judah.
album. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, Judah was supposed to come out during the whole heat last year. It was my birthday. Let's just call it my 30th birthday. Let's not talk about it. Um, and as I was recording the Viper, I was other ideas were coming, so I recorded everything at the same time. And you know, I think at the time I'd also made up my mind that I was going to walk away from Chocolate City, the company. So a lot of the songs have people that listen to it say it's like really old MI music, and it's very emotional. It tells a lot of there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of my history and story inside there. And in fact, the first version of it, when I gave the first version to when I gave the first version to the label, they were like, please don't say that, please don't say this, don't say that, don't say this. So by the time the project was coming out, I had time to, I wasn't so emotional at that point. I had time to come back and, remove some of the songs and change things here and there. And it's more cryptic. But there's one or two people that have listened to the album and have been completely correct. Because there's a lot of hidden messages. But one or two reviews I saw, because I was trying to see who is going to be right. And one or two people were completely correct. Said, okay, this place is talking about this person. This place is talking about that person. But yeah, it's a project. I didn't promote it at all. I just put it out. The label wanted to playlist it. I said no. This is not a project for. It's so personal. I just wanted to do it. So it didn't. I produced a lot of the music. I worked with a few producers. I paid them from my pocket. I didn't want the label to spend any money on it. I just put it and put it out there. And that was all these people saying I'm older than 30. Please, what's going on? Please, can we just focus on these questions, please?
So for some people like me, we felt like you stayed back in Nigeria and missed out on a global touring circuit at some peak time in your career.
Yeah.
Mostly the US, Canada tour. So what was the particular reason? Because it felt like you were sacrificing something for someone. You understand? So
yeah. So to build a tour. Okay, so to build a tour in Nigeria and to do the tour, you have to be as an A-list artist. You have to back then when the dollar was 150. You have to really want to do it because the money just doesn't add up, right?
yeah.
The venues are not as big. So I would really respect the people that would always go on tour every year, but it wasn't everyone. The big artists weren't going on tour every year.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, over the last 3 years, a lot of things have happened. The dollar rate has changed now. So if you get paid $1,000, that's 360,000. Before it's 150K. So if I pay you $10,000 for a show, which not everybody can afford to pay an artist $10,000 for a gig. I mean, you know that you've been on tour, right? And so $10,000. If I'm doing let's say 1.5, and I have to, live off of that money, and then during the summer, let's say Lipton or Indomie or somebody says, hey, we want you to do 8 shows for us, and we're going to pay you 3 million naira per show. Obviously, it doesn't make sense to go and spend this time in America. And the other thing about being Nigeria is that you can easily go from Lagos to Port Harcourt to do another show. When you go to America, or Canada, they're like 20 days. So because of that, you're correct. It was not the right decision. By the time I got to 2015, I became the CEO of the label. And when you're the CEO of the label, your focus, like literally, your focus becomes the artist. you're taking care of. So um, there was, I mean, you could call it sacrifice, but at the end of the day, you know, some decisions you make, you look back on. I mean, look, that money has flowed into my life, into many artists, has flowed into Chocolate City, it's flowed into, like, the money I was making here, it's flowed into my family, it's flowed into, investments. And so, yeah, I can look back and be like, maybe I should have gone on tour. It would have been great optically or whatever. But also, I'm also proud of the decisions I made when I stayed home and when I was working.
All right, so let's talk about a funny concert or show where the producer disappeared with your balance. The promoter appeared with your balance.
So what are you talking about? Are you about to pay me the money that there's a rumor,
No, let's
Ubi, that
you know
there's a
those
rumor that
things
you
are
owe
always
me
very funny.
like 200K from like years ago. One
So
show in
tell me,
Calabar.
tell me.
No, you can't even remember. One show in Calabar. I think I was working with God. This is years ago. But I think it was, what's the name of the guy in the Indian guy in Calabar? Was that
Tito.
his name?
It was Tito. Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
was a Tito show. I can't remember what happened. I think when Tito was like, it was Ubi that was supposed to bring you and blah, 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 and it was a long conversation. But anyway, yeah, have people disappeared with my money? Of course, of course. There's a brand that owes me, let me just say, more than 30 million naira today.
Wow.
So it happens, and you're patient a little bit. Sometimes I've always tried to carry myself with grace, and with grace, what that means is that um, money is important. It's very important, but
Mm.
you know, I want to be able to treat people the way I should be treated. I want to be treated. And so I, you know, I'm at peace with all men. There are many people. I mean, I'm old. I mean, this industry, it happens, right? People owe people, like, and some people don't remember. Some people don't, you know, um, they pretend. Some people forget. There's somebody that came to. I shouldn't tell the story, man. I shouldn't tell the story. And then somebody came to my house one day, really stranded. Yo, I need so and so. I had like maybe like $500. I gave him, and but I gave him. He was like, "I'm gonna get it back to you," like blah blah. And then the person came back and did something, and sent me, like sent me, let's say, a copy of the thing they did, and kept disturbing me for their money for that thing. And I was like, "Your dog, like, you don't remember
So
that?"
yeah, 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 yeah. It's always like that.
Yeah.
It's always like that. Well, M,
Yes.
I'd like you to pop into our conversation tomorrow about record labels, and because we would like you to come in,
What?
and because last you watch on the Saturday one.
No, no. Who are you talking with tomorrow, though?
So tomorrow is Anne Audu, but we have Obi Asika and Kenny Ogungwe.
On IG Live?
Yeah, on IG Live. So what we'll
Okay.
do is we'll have to bring you in with a particular topic we're discussing, because we're
Okay.
just trying to see how we can mend the artist and the record label relationship, how it should actually be, what
Yeah.
contract should be like, what we are doing right and what we are doing wrong. So it's just a general conversation. For me, I want us to fix our industry. Do you understand? I really want us to fix our industry because I feel like it has gotten to a point where investors have started looking at us as if we don't know what we're doing. How can we get to a point where we have people like Whiskey, the Davidos, the Tiwa Savage, the Burna Boys, and banks cannot look at us and say, you know what, I give you 100 million, 200 million as a loan because you are an artist. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we've gotten to a point where if there's a proper structure, these kind of things are going to happen. So those are the kind of conversations we're trying to have, just to define um, this our industry and see. Like I was saying to Audi the other day, I say if we can fix just 10% of the issue that we are going through, that labels and artists have, every other thing will be okay. So I would like you to pop into that conversation tomorrow. We just it just took like last week we had Casey and Rude Boy. They came in, they shared their own experience coming from the record label point of view and coming from the artist point of view, and it was really nice. So I'd like to pop into that conversation tomorrow. But before you go, I want us to play a game. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Okay.
All right. Moi moi or akara?
Yo, depends on the time of the day, but I'll say akara.
Alomo bitters or kola nuts?
This is a tough one. I should say alomo, but the thing about kola nuts is that when your throat is bad after performing, kola nuts is one of the things that restores your throat. So I think I'll
Tea
go
or
with
coffee?
yo. This is tough. Coffee. Tea. I'm sorry, tea. Don't be angry, please.
For me or beer?
I mean, 100%.
Cold shower or hot shower?
Hot shower, man. Who does that? Who does cold shower?
Juice or water?
Water.
SUV or sedan?
Um, for Lagos, SUV. For Lagos, SUV. But them sedans though. I've had a couple dope sedans. I had a C class. I have a GT Continental. The sedans are nice. But for Lagos roads, SUV.
Text message, phone call?
Oh, it depends. If I want to talk to you, then phone call. Hey, if not SMS.
NEPA light or generator?
Yo. So where I live now, the cost, I think I'll go for NEPA lights because the NEPA light is pretty nice and the cost of that gen is a little bit expensive.
Eba or fufu?
Neither, pounded yam. Wrong question. Cancel that question. Give that question from the list. Just put pounded yam or others.
Okay. Draw soup or vegetable soup?
What kind of draw soup?
Like not okra, like ogbono.
Ogbono.
Okay. Roasted yam or boiled yam?
Boiled yam.
Roasted corn or boiled corn?
Damn. It's a good one. Oh. Roasted corn has a vibe with it, so
Yeah,
roasted
I
corn.
think boiled corn is too official.
Yeah.
Roasted corn is
And there's a
rugged.
vibe. There's a vibe. There's a
Yeah,
vibe.
there's a vibe. Yeah. Jesse or Jason?
What the fuck, bro? Yeah. Jesse. Jason should get out.
Cognac or whiskey?
Cognac.
XO or VSOP?
It depends. It depends on the drink. I think people just want to go for EXO because they think it's, but it depends on the brand. But generally, it depends. There's no answer to that. It depends.
Dodo or plantain chips?
Dodo.
Okada or keke napep?
Okada.
Aisle seat or window seat on the plane?
Okada has meant more to me in my life. I'll see. No, window seats, 100%. Depends though. It depends on the plane. Depends. And where the bathroom is.
Okay. Vaseline or lotion?
Bello in the building. Vaseline or lotion. Vaseline has multiple uses. So you have to keep. What do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, you can use it to fry food. What are you thinking about your mind, bro? Your mind is. Hey, Uduak in the building.
All right.
Uduak is in the building. Shout out to Uduak. My tribe people.
MCP base or Sound City?
Hey, guy, which kind of question is this? Which kind of question is this? Because I can't even answer.
Wedding gigs or concert?
Wedding gigs or concerts? Concerts, 100%. What? Weddings are terrible. I mean, the money is good, but they're terrible, man. Like You never know what's gonna
You know,
happen. The band could be fired. Terrible.
exactly. You know, there are these weddings you go for. You know, I haven't done this whole music thing for a while. You find out that there are these weddings you go for, and the couple don't know that this artist is coming, right? So
Yeah.
somebody has paid for them. So when you come, you don't know whether they like the artist or they don't like the artist. Then
They'll
you have to
just
come
the
into the
woman just
classroom.
turn at it.
They'll just stand like they're looking at you. So that is always very annoying.
Yo, bro, it's like weddings are terrible, man. Terrible. You never know what's gonna happen. You never know when the family of the father wants to do a program, or where the bride is gonna be. Is she gonna be tired? Is she gonna be upset? Like there's just so much going on. Concerts 100% of the time.
Gote or jollof rice.
Gote should get out, man. See, all my J-Town people, the only thing that we need to change in Plateau State is Gote. I don't, I don't. Somebody said leave Udo, I can shoot videos. Yeah, but yeah, jollof rice, 100%. Please don't even cancel that question to cancel it.
Just or Lagos.
Which kind of question is this now? Which kind of question
You
is
must
this?
answer this one. I won't cancel this one. You must answer.
Just on Lagos. So it's a tough one because Lagos has given me a lot, and Lagos is very important for our industry, and but I was content in Jos. So if I'd never come to Lagos, if I had to remove it, if I'd never come to Lagos, I wouldn't have known what I was missing. So just by like one small, yeah, Lagos
So
is
it's
very important.
49-51.
Yeah, it's like 49.9 something, and 50.1.
Yankee hat or baseball? Yankee hat or baseball cap?
Okay, so well, I mean, the Yankee hat's the baseball hat. You're just talking about like a normal, like the NY
Yeah.
hat is the best hat in the world right now. Is the super cool cat hat, Ice Prince's hat. So check it out, super cool cat.
All right, MI. Thank you so much for coming
Bro,
on
it
the
was
show.
great. It was great chatting. Can I ask you one question?
Yeah, sure, please.
I mean, you've been in a lot of, you know, it's crazy because the controversial moments are very loud. People, when the great things happen, people don't
Yeah, they don't
hail
speak
as
about
loudly.
it.
You know. So, what is maybe for you personally one highlight for you that people don't know, something that people haven't been able to see, and then also what is one regret, that's something that you would have done differently. You know.
You see, we live in a country where people don't want to they don't want to celebrate the good, right? Social media today they want to celebrate the bad, right? And people take things personally, very very personal a lot.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of great stuff. Like one thing I'm very grateful to God that He let me do. One of the highlights of my year was doing the pitch on Instagram. People don't understand that because what that program taught me, the pitch, because it was an opportunity for entrepreneurs to earn money from to pitch about their businesses, tell us everything about it, and then earn some money from it. So now this is what people don't know. Throughout the pitch, I was learning more than I was actually presenting. So I put in a lot of work to actually learn because I found out that there are a lot of people that go to school to read music, right? But they've never made the kind of money that they're meant to make in music. So
Mm.
most times it's not about you being politically correct about a topic, but there's one man somewhere that has not been to school, but he knows his numbers.
Yeah.
Go to Ogbete Market, go to Onitsha Market, yeah, up Iweka. You find out that there are a lot of guys there that they didn't go to school, so for me, I felt like there are a lot of these guys that might not have gone to school properly, right? But they've understood what their business model is. They stuck to what they believe their business is. Do you understand? So I learned a lot from that. That's been my highlight so far. Regret. I really like. I was saying to someone. I was saying to someone 2 days ago. I said I don't think I have any regret. I used to say one of my regrets is not having all my kids with one woman. But it's no more a regret for me because I found out something. I just told my friends, like, I don't think I have any regret because everything that happens to you in life is it gives you an opportunity to move from where you are for another person to fit in that position, right? Whatever is happening to you, I know I found out also that whatever is happening to you, there's somebody else that the same thing is happening to. But because you're on the spotlight, right? Because you're on the spotlight, people don't get to see that person's own, right? But they get to see yours because you're already on the spotlight. So I asked myself a question that, why am I this person on the spotlight at this position? And I've been telling God that, God, I want you to show me the reason why you have actually spotlighted me and put a lot of all these things around me. And the reason why I have to be the one carrying this thing. You can bear with me that there are times things happen to you and you ask yourself, there are times things happen to you and you ask yourself, what's going on? Why is it me? Because the thing keeps happening. It keeps happening and you keep asking yourself, why is it me? Why? So I've asked myself those questions so much that I've gotten to a point where right now, to be honest, I don't have any regret about anything. Like I said, a lot of people that go and attack you on social media, that say things about you on social media, if you flip their scripts, open up their pillows, you find out that they have worse issues either in their family lineage, either their parents or their mothers or their sisters that are going through worse situations than you, but you always feel like coming on social media to use yours to ring the bell, right? There are a lot of us that are very, very misconstrued. Emma, you say something right now, the blog will pick that part that is, they will not pick the building conversation or the ending part of the conversation, right? They will take that and post, they will take something that really suits them and post on social media. And then
So
just to sell the numbers.
I want to ask you one more question. One more question.
Yeah.
So the day, I remember tuning in and watching you and I think it was Dotun having that conversation in the middle of all this. Joey Akan writes this article, I think it was, about you and Yaya and the whole thing and what's happening. And the question I want to ask you is, the next day, so people are either talking bad about you or they're laughing, few people are supporting you.
Yeah.
The very next day, or if something that happens with your family, and everybody's talking about it, how do you start again? Because there are people that are going through disappointment that are watching. How do you start yourself again and pick up and move forward from that? Saying, hey,
honestly, when I saw that Joy Khan's interview, I was so disappointed. I was so gutted because everything he wrote on that script was scripted. And I felt like he had this thing very, very deep rooted inside of him about me that he wanted to pick. And I sat down for a few hours and I was asking myself, what? And then here on that side was Nyaya, my brother. Yes, I always say, I don't think that my journey will ever be complete to where I am today to call myself Ubi Franklin without Nyaya. So fighting Nyaya would never be amongst my top 10. I wouldn't even write it down. If you say, okay, top 10 things you want to do right now before you leave the world, fighting Nyaya won't be even part of them. So when I saw that thing, I called Joey. I said, Joey, why did you do this? He said he was asked to do it because at the time, Nyaya's management asked him to do it to help the song that they're about to drop. Now, first, I reached out to Nyaya. I said, are you the one? He could not see. I know what Nyaya can do and I know what Nyaya cannot do. I knew that script was not Nyaya that scripted it. They scripted it and gave it to him to just, and you can see that inside of him, this is somebody I slept on the same bed. We traveled together for years. So, you can know what Ice Prince will do and what Jesse will do. Even if they don't live with you again, but there's some things, that they can. So, which was a wrong move, right? We've been in disappointing situations in our industry. But when I saw that thing, I felt really bad because he kept writing. They paid him, right? He kept writing episodes after episodes. Bro, it doesn't change who I am. I've touched a lot of lives in the Nigerian entertainment industry. I've invested in artists that have failed, right? But people never write those things that the failure in terms of the things you do. So I felt bad. But every day I woke up in the morning, you know what I do? I block as many people as this idiot I'm about to block right now. I block as many people as possible.
So you're
I try
blocking
to
people.
tune down. Yes, now I try to tune down a lot of. I try to
Yeah.
tune down. I try to tune down a lot of the bad vibes. So there was a day I was having a conversation with David. Yeah, and David said, "Ubi, you know that." That's the video. He said, "Ubi, you know that there are a lot of good things people say about us on social media that we don't catch our attention. But the things that catch our attention are those
The bad
things that
things.
the bad
Yeah.
things that always catch our attention." So after that conversation with David, I started looking out for those people that say good things about you to reply them.
Yeah.
Because if you can reply the ones that say bad things about you, right? Because one day, one troll, after I blocked him, he went on my, and he opened another Instagram and sent me a message. Say he has been sending me messages. He has been commenting on my page for a long time, and he felt like the way he can get my attention,
To
right,
say something
is
negative. Yeah.
to say something negative. So for me, I've come to a point where you can write whatever you want to write, as far as that thing doesn't define me, right? It doesn't define me. It only makes me feel forward. I keep going. See, for every time you write anything about me that is negative, right? And I know for a fact that in my conscience, in my heart of hearts, right, this thing is not what I have done, right? Or this is not how it played out. If I cannot defend myself to people, you know what I do? You know what I do? I just sit back, kneel down, pray, cry, and move on. And once that happens, that's it. And
Somebody
there's
else is begging
nothing.
me to shout them out. Eddie Cobbs. I think that's how the price person name. Eddie Cobbs. Shout out to you.
So for me, I always believe that once that thing happens, it helps me feel forward.
Yeah.
I'll move on. I sit back and look at the things at the back. So they say me, we talk every day. I was talking to him today. We have those conversations. Oh, Obi, look at this project. What can we do? We're still, because the thing is, once a situation happens, look at today. You talk to almost everybody that you work with. You know. So for me, like for your question, I feel like it's an opportunity for people to understand that for you to be in the position where you are, as Ubi Franklin, as MI, as Davido, as Whiskey, as Tunde Not, as wherever you are, you need to understand that there are things that are going to come for you. And you need to have that thick skin, right, to take on those things. If you cannot, you will not be able to be here. So, MI, trust me, what I'll become in this life,
We did.
in this life,
We've
right?
seen some, so we know that the rest is
What I'll
easy.
become in this life. I tell people, give me 3 more years or give me 4 more years. My plan, I have a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet, I'll open it up. Every day I read my spreadsheet. I keep reading my document. I keep reading my document. If I fail it, I add it to the next day. And that's it. So
Shout
out to everybody here.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Shout out to the tribe, the best fan base in Nigeria. You know, I don't need plenty.